What's up guys, and welcome back to the Drift Games vlog. It's been a while. We've been on lockdown in Ireland for a couple of weeks, but we are now safely able to go back videoing our cars, and just in the nick of time because we were all going a little bit crazy not getting around our projects. We've got so much stuff coming up on this channel over the next couple of months, and we can now kickstart it finally. And we're kickstarting with a big one because something in all of this negativity happened really positively for me over this lockdown. Now, you guys know lots of people have been doing these online raffles and competitions, and I was a bit like you guys, a little skeptical, you know, never won anything, did a few, didn't think about it. But one evening I got an email to say that I had actually won my dream spec Ae86. Now, I couldn't believe it. In fact, I had to check if it was even a scam, but it wasn't a scam. And over the lockdown, the car was delivered here to the yard so we can actually now have a look at it, which is really strange because I didn't buy the car, so I can't really tell you anything about it. I just got it delivered. It did only cost me €25 on a ticket, and the car is obviously worth a lot more than that. But is it a good one? Is it a bad one? What's the plans for it? Well, the best thing we can do is go in and have a look at it, check out the car, see what it's all about, if it's a good or a bad one, see what we need to do, and then we'll start coming up with some plans. And hopefully you guys will be able to give me, in the comments, some inspiration of what I should do with the car. So let's go into the garage and check it out. Alright guys, so this is the car. First time I've had a proper good look at it, and it looks really, really clean. Now, we don't know a whole lot about the car, so today is sort of like a detective game where we have to kind of look at it, check out the spec, see what it's all about. It's really weird because normally you'd buy a car and you'd obviously be checking everything and knowing what you want, but I obviously didn't buy it, so I'm hoping it's a good one. That's all we can hope so far, but on the outside it looks pretty clean. So this car, to me, if I was looking at it's obviously a UK registered car. We can't register it in Ireland just yet because all of our registration centres are closed. But it's sort of strange because I'm not sure. To me, this looks like it might have been, yeah, so as you can see here, obviously with the Japanese writing on the door, this is actually a Jap import, which if you're into your Corollas, and I'm not a massive expert in Corollas, but there's two types of ways that people style Corollas. So some people like what we call an Irish or UK spec, which is what this car has been done. So this car has come from the north of Ireland, which is sort of like these 13-inch revolutions, sort of small wheels, Toyota stickers on the car. So obviously this car wouldn't have come with Toyota stickers originally. It would have had Levin and all that kind of stuff. You've got the big English plates. So it's sort of a Japanese car that's been made look like a UK spec car, and sometimes you might think that's a bit odd why someone would do that. But obviously Japanese cars haven't suffered as much when it comes to salt on the roads and bad weather and had all the rust. So if it's a Japanese shell, there's a plus for me. One, because I prefer the Jap spec twin cams or Ae86s, and I'm not a massive fan of the UK ones. But if it is a Japanese one that's been done like a UK one, I'm a little bit happier because it's probably going to have a better shell than a UK one. Now, there are some really good UK ones out there, but what I feel would have happened, and I'm only guessing at this point, is someone imported the car, wanted a clean shell, and then made it look like a UK spec car, which is what it does now. So all these stickers like the Twin Cam 16, and even the stickers on the back, GT Twin Cam 16 Corolla, these would have been put on the car, I think, afterwards. The other thing is that I don't think this car originally was a white over black car. I think if I'm looking at the lines, especially if you see here, this was obviously masked up and painted at some point in Ireland, I think. So it was originally, I think, a white car with black bumpers, and someone wanted to give it that panda look, that white over black. So I like the look of the white over black, but in many ways, it's not, you know, this car is kind of a little bit more than meets the eye. It's got fresh tires on it. These wheels are 13s. Not particularly to my liking, but they are something very popular in the Ae86 world, these 13-inch Revolutions. I'm not sure if these are original Revolutions. To me, they could be replicas, but either way, they look pretty good. These are UK spec rear lights, and UK rear spec. So this is the difference between the Japanese and UK spec, is that the Japanese have obviously a square plate and the lights come like this from both sides, and the UK cars essentially have these kind of spots on the bottom. So someone has obviously taken the Jap bumper, screwed these two in to make it illuminate the UK plate. Inside I haven't seen yet, so I'm not sure. So let's have a look. This car, well, it's pretty clean. Okay, so it's black and grey, which is I think the nicest colour combo. It's in pretty good nick. There's a couple of scuffs here and there, but the car is from 1985, so you're going to expect that. Oh, it has air conditioning. So the car has air conditioning and electric windows, and
seems fairly high spec for an 86.
Yeah, I've had an 86 in the past. I've had a 16 valve Corolla in the past, and it didn't have much spec on it. I'm just curious, as I'm just going to start it up for the first time.
Give it a rev.
What's that exhaust on it? It sounds very like a Jan Speed exhaust at the back. Yeah, it has power steering, which is unusual.
That must be rare.
Hold on a minute. I have electric mirrors.
Go on. If it is electric mirrors, I think they're broken.
Yeah, they're not working, but it had electric mirrors at one point. Electric mirrors. I'm just gonna turn that off for a moment. We'll get to the driving in a bit.
Can't help but notice your knees almost as tall as this steering.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much adjustment this steering wheel is going to have.
Is that all the way up?
I'm not sure. Hold on, let me. Okay, so that goes down. So this is initially an issue because it's a small car, so my knees hit that almost automatically. So I'm going to need to figure out something.
That steering wheel's already dished though.
It is a dish steering wheel. It's actually quite a nice steering wheel. I don't think this is definitely not a standard steering wheel, so I'm not too sure. Maybe we could get like a little Boss kit on it or something just to bring it back a little bit. I'm not sure. We'll have a look at that.
Paint peel. It says super quick knob.
Super quick knob. That's what I am. I'm a super quick knob.
In a 1.6.
In a 1.6 with about 120 horsepower maybe these things have. Let's see if we can pop the bonnet and see what we've got. I mean, you look at a lot of Jap import Corollas, they're kind of a mix mash of parts really. This one doesn't seem to be. So let's see.
I don't know what one looks like standard, but it looks fairly standard.
All the air stuff is there standard. It's obviously got a set of leads and stuff, high performance leads on there. It could do with a clean. The rad has seen better days anyway, that's for sure. So the rad is a little bit crusty. Like, it's very strange how I thought originally I'd want a UK car with all the Toyota stickers and stuff, but it's actually a Jap car, which is much more what I want.
So it seems like it must be a fairly highly modified car to make look like a standard car.
That's the strange thing. People spend a lot of money making them look like a certain type of model, which is strange. But when I start to see all the standard parts, I feel good because you know somebody's kind of left it alone. I mean, this is a 1985 car, so in that time it's avoided an air filter even, you know, so that's pretty cool, that's pretty rare. So what I love about these old cars is
it's like a house key.
It's like a house key. Even my house key looks like it's harder to replicate than that. I think the next thing to do is put it on the ramp and see if it's as good on the underside as it is on the top, because that's the bit that's going to basically mean if it's a good or a bad car.
This is the moment of truth.
This is the moment of truth. Let's get on the ramp.
At first glance, it looks like it has new suspension.
It has springs, definitely. But let's have a look at it. First glance, Wayne, looks pretty okay.
It's okay.
That's very clean.
I honestly think, including the M4, this is the cleanest car you've actually got underneath.
The M4 isn't this clean underneath. Looks like a standard enough diff in it. I'm not sure. It's a brand new Jan Speed exhaust. That's definitely new. There's no way that.
Back box though, is it?
It's only a back box, I think, is it?
Yeah.
Everything there looks very clean. I'm not seeing any major issues.
Little bit of an oily there.
A little bit oily coming from
Front of the dick.
front of the diff, and it's spraying up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that needs to be looked at.
There's only one wheeler there.
Oh, it's an open diff.
Oh, it's an open
One
diff.
wheeler.
You won't be able to do the hoops.
Can't do the hoops. So we need a diff. We definitely put that on the list. Even the sills and stuff are very clean. Look, like no rust.
See, even on second-hand cars, you would get that bit that's like dented in.
Yeah, but like it hasn't even been dented in.
Body-wise, it's clean.
It's very clean underneath. I'm really happy with that.
It looks like it's got new calipers as well.
Yeah, just got brand new calipers. So that was one thing the guy said to me, that they had to replace all 4 calipers because the brakes were sticking. So that's a job done, which is great.
The diagnostic report isn't as dramatic as you thought.
No, I was thinking there's going to be some major issue here that we're going to have to deal with, but it actually looks really clean. Like, there's nothing here I'm looking at going, here's a major issue that we have to solve. I mean, it hasn't had any crash damage.
It's got a spider there. Actually, there's a fly.
Well, that's alright. As long as it's not a spider.
Your face is saying, oh, you were not expecting this
No.
at all. You expected it to be a disaster.
I was expecting to have some big long spiel of like, well, we got to do this and we got to fix that, and there's a big patch here and a big patch there, but it's actually spotless. We don't want to do too much modifications before it goes through the test, because that's obviously going to make it more difficult, but this has to go through a test and then it gets registered on an Irish registration plate. And the reason these cars have gone up in value lately is because of that registration. You used to have to pay what's called vehicle registration tax in Ireland, which is super high. It's like 20% of the value of the car plus VAT. So this car now qualifies as a classic. So the VRT, it is just like €200. So that's why they've got really, really popular again in Ireland. It's because they used to be a couple of thousand to actually put an Irish plate on them. Now it's only €200, and the tax on a 1.6 is generally about what, 500 quid, maybe something like that, 5 or 600 quid. But because it's now classic, it's only €56 taxes. So that's why these cars are getting even more in demand. So I'm chuffed with this. I'm over the moon that the car is clean. I definitely didn't expect it to be this clean. I thought it would be a good one, but this is unbelievable. So let's get it on the ground and maybe take it for a spin, because it looks to me like it's safe to go for a drive. That's the first thing you got to check before you go down the road, is the car safe? It looks like everything's working. I think we should take it out on the road and see what this thing's all about. So we just got it down off the ramp. Mikey's here. Mikey, the new Corolla, the new project.
I hate them. I hate them. If I tell you
He's
what,
gone in strong with hate.
I'm very open about how I hate UK Corollas. Do you know
You've never driven an 86.
Never driven anything.
You've never driven an 86, Josh?
No.
So why don't we all, because obviously this is as stock as the car is ever going to be, why don't we just take a stock 86 for a spin and see what all the hype is about?
Like this.
One peeler at the back there, Mike says, not a whole chance of doing any sort of drift stuff, but I've never driven a stock 86.
I've sat in the passenger seat out the window while doing hoops in an 86, alright?
That sounds about right. That is generally the experience people have. So we'll hop in, take it for a spin down the road, see what the stock version is like, and then we'll come back and have a little chat about what we're going to do to it. I want to give a big thank you to one of our partners here at Drift Games, Mobil 1 Oil. You'll see Mobil 1 Oil on every single one of my drift cars, and it is the only oil that I use because it keeps the engines cool and reliable throughout the entire season. We wouldn't use anything else, and we advise you guys to use the same. Check out their full range of lubricants on their website now. So this is absolutely crazy. I'm back in an Ae86, and it's actually my Ae86, which is crazy. €25, take a shot, and here I am driving an absolutely immaculate Jap imported UK styled Ae86 Corolla. There's nobody in drifting or modified cars that doesn't respect this car, and when you get behind the wheel, it's easy to see why, because it's raw, it's simple, it's cool. This one, you know, it's not the fastest car in the world, but it feels like you're going fast because it just screams along. You just drop a gear and away you go. Engine screaming, little 1.6 16 valve, and you can even hear the little bell of the speedometer telling you that you've gone over the speed limit, and it handles really nice. You can definitely feel that it's on standard suspension. It's not that tight, but the feeling so direct from the steering wheel. The minute you touch the steering wheel left or right, you can feel that through the road, which is kind of missing in normal cars, to be honest. Nowadays, modern cars, you're a little bit insulated from everything. You don't really feel what's going on. Even if they're sporty cars, they're still a bit detached, but this is just raw driving fun. And on a beautiful day like today on a back road, there's nothing more fun to drive than an Ae86, so I am absolutely chuffed with this car. You know, we've kind of missed these type of cars. They don't really make cheap rear-wheel drive cars anymore. And, you know, if you wanted a GT86, which I suppose is its replacement for this car, I mean, when they came out in Ireland, they were like nearly €50,000. So that's not really like a cheap car. For €50,000, you'd be expecting a lot more fun, a lot more poke. And this, for a car that's so old, like 35 years old, it still screams down the road. And the noise is infectious. It's so much fun to drive. And that John Speed exhaust just makes a nice noise. It's not too loud. Everything's so mechanical. The gearbox, the steering, it's a raw car, and I love it. And it's something so different than what I drive every day that's why this is the perfect weekend car. It's an iconic car, but it's also very fitting for me because, you know, I've been doing drifting for 10 years now, and this is essentially the car that started it all. So a very fitting thing to win for such a little amount of money, and we're just going to have so much fun with this car on the channel, I can tell already.
It's not a rattly bag of shit like I expected, to be honest with you. Mommy, look, I made it! I'm driving a twin cam! Like, I get it, there's a huge, you know, culture behind them and all that, but it's just the UK ones. The UK ones don't do it for me. I don't understand why everyone wants them to look the same. You get me? I like different cars, I like crazy things, but she is fun. Will I do the classic? Oh, I did it! Oh, I did it! I'm that guy again. It drives nice, it's smooth, it's not as rattly as I thought. There is no power in it, I will admit that. She's only 16 valves, so I'm kind of expecting that anyway. I wasn't, you know, expecting it to be ridiculous power. All these boys in lorries are just looking at me going, "It's crack, Sam." Scan, I scanned him! He scanned me, I scanned him! Unreal, lad. Yeah, everyone's looking at me. I'm sorry, I've learned that. I've only drove down the road and everyone's staring. Instantly, they're all like, "Oh my god, look at that legend driving a twin cam." So there is a lot of style points. Maybe I'm sitting too far forward, leaning back a bit. Am I doing it right? I think I'm doing it right. I feel like I'm doing it right. But it's not savage. Is it? I don't know. Sure, everyone's going to tell me it is. Not my cup of tea, the UK ones, but it's a nice car. It's a nice car.
Oh, Mike's only put the seat back for the seat stands. For the scan. I mean scandal. Oh, it's a revy little thing it is. Oh, it's the gear stick's a bit wobbly, but give the lorry driver the scan. That's what they do. There we go. It vibrates through the whole car. It's kind of. I'm only going what 80k here, but it feels like you're almost going 100 miles an hour, which is kind of what you want from a car because you can't obviously go fast everywhere. So it's you want it to feel faster than you're actually going. Let's go. Oh, a bit of a pop from the exhaust as well. It does bring a smile to your face. I don't like this. That's what I said. I'm not gonna lie, my mind has been slightly changed.
It's a lot of fun.
It's very responsive.
Like, it's very raw.
It's a slow Toyota.
It is quite
slow.
It is slow, but it does feel fast.
That's the point. It's like an MX-5 1.6.
It sounds fast. There's the noise inside
But
there.
the thing is, if it sounds fast and it feels like you're going fast, then that's all that matters.
I'm telling you, when you in the M4, you could be doing 180k and it doesn't feel anything because you're so cocooned in all the sound deadening and everything. In that you can do like drop a gear, wah, and it's like you've got
It
nowhere.
screams at you.
Yeah, it's so much fun to drive.
I was down here. I'm now here.
Up a bit.
Like, it definitely
yeah,
up a
I'm like
bit.
that. It's nice. It is nice to drive.
We had the seat back and everything. We really got into it.
We're throwing scans up down the road and all.
The lorry driver.
Well, that's the thing. Is now the decision is what we do with it next. I think we'll bring it in. I'll have a little bit of a think, and I'm gonna let the people who are watching the video, at least in the comments, let me know if I'm going the right direction or not. Because even I'm not completely convinced.
You do know if you're going to give it to the people, they're going to say, leave it, standard, leave it.
Yeah,
Have it the same as everyone else's, because that's cool.
that is cool. Right, let's bring it in. Let's have a
You're
think.
not very cool.
Okay, so everyone's taking a spin in the Corolla. It's been an awesome day. I've had so much fun because we now know that it's a good one. But that also brings a lot of problems. So I'm going to let you guys in on what's kind of been a dilemma for me over the last week. So when I bought the car, when I won the car, so the car stands me €25 as it sits here. The minute I got it, I started getting offers from people who wanted to buy it. So it started at 10,000, went up to 15,000, then I got offered €20,000 for the car. But that's really difficult because I know you can say the car only stands at €25, but €20,000 you can buy pretty much any Japanese car you want for that. So it's whether or not you want a Corolla or not. The other dilemma is that as it is, this is how people like them. Very original, almost like a time capsule car, which is what this is. The problem is that in order to make it the way I would want it to be as my dream Corolla, I would almost have to devalue the car because I would have to modify the car to a certain extent to make it look like a Japanese car, to make it look a lot cooler. that to me is interesting because you're thinking, well, maybe I should just buy a cheaper Ae86 instead of taking this one. Or that brings us to the question of, am I going to keep this car for a very long time and make it my perfect Ae86 the way I want it and not care about the value and not care about anything? Because we were saying this, Mike, is like people say, oh, put it away as it is and it'll appreciate in value.
That's my issue is, like, why would you want to put it away and have it looking like everyone else's car? If you want to make it your car, I would say make it your car. Paint it pink over blue for all I care. It's just as long as it's different, it'll look good.
I think that's part of it. Now, again, there's a certain, I think, you know, Corollas can look bad very quick if you don't do the right things. But what I like about it is that it's got a good starting point. You're starting with a stock car that has everything working, that you're not trying to, there's not a lot of bodge jobs on there, there's not a lot of random parts, half this, half that. So whatever you're doing to the car, and what I mostly love about it all together is, if I was to change any one part, you'd immediately notice the difference.
Yeah.
Because you're not taking a drift car and just changing it to be another drift car. You're taking a completely standard car, so every single thing we do,
everything you add to it will change it.
Exactly, will improve it and you'll feel it, rather than having an already modified one. So the simple decision to be made is, do I sell it as it is and go buy something that I can do whatever I want with it and no one's going to care because it's not a rare car? Or do I just bite the bullet and say, hey, this car only stands me €25. I want to make my own dream Ae86 out of it, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. So that's the tough decision to make.
Someone wants to offer more than 25. You know where we're at. Like, come on,
He
bring it
can
up.
change his mind now.
So basically, on the next installment of this series, I'm going to basically have that decision made, whether I'm going to keep it as it is and sell it, or I'm going to make it my dream Ae86. The question is, if it was you guys, what would you do? Because number one, the car stands me €25, so I'm at no loss here no matter what. And even if I spent $6,000 on the car to make it my perfect, or 10 grand on the car to make it my perfect Ae86, like an immaculately amazing one, it still only stands me what I'm putting into it. So it's not that big an investment. That said, I don't know if it's going to ruin the value of the car overall, and should I just cash out now? I've got a great deal and buy something like an S-Body or something like that and just do whatever I want to it. So I'm kind of two minds about it, but you guys might have a better opinion on this. So would you keep it as it is, exactly as it is, and just store it and respect it and leave it as a time capsule? Would you modify it? Would you sell it? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching our first episode back of the Drift Games vlog. We're going to be bringing them more thick and fast to you guys than ever before. We're going to be doing a lot of projects behind the scenes, and the weather's pretty good in Ireland at the moment, so we're going to make the most of that and take a couple of spins in some interesting cars as well. If you've liked the video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell on, and me, Mikey, and Josh will be looking at more silly cars very, very soon. Thanks for watching.
$280?
Keep going.
Shut up, $280.
Keep going.
$290?
Keep going. But the one thing that is brand new in this car is right here in the middle. Okay, so what makes 900 horsepower?